Welcome. It's Friday, September 30th, 2022, and this is Dan Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel podcast. I'm Dennis, and I'll be your host as we review the latest Marvel happenings across all media, as well as maybe some other superpowered stuff that caught our attention. And when I say we, I'm referring to my dashing duo of dweebs joining me this evening. First up, it's the man behind the buttons who's also currently redeeming like Fortnite codes. I can see him doing it right now. It's Ricky.
I just finished redeeming it, so
Look at
in an hour or so, I will get an Iron Man in my email.
Yes, you will get a whole lot of things. It's the Fortnite Marvel Unlimited like pack. It's cute. But yeah, we didn't do a show last week. You weren't available, and I couldn't do one either. I think I'm not sure what the circumstances were, but I had something come up. But I mean, was it a lot of news last week anyways? Did we miss
There's one big thing, I guess,
okay,
right?
well,
We'll talk about it.
that, but I'm excited to have you here today to talk about 2 episodes of She-Hulk and some other stuff that's going on. But before we do more of that, let's get our guest out here so that we have, an extra person to bounce news off of and everything and nerdiness. I'm pretty sure he's loving She-Hulk, even though we still don't have a Daredevil. It's Clarke.
Hello.
Is that true? You're fine with the show, even though there's no Daredevil?
I am totally fine with the show, and you know how much I love Daredevil, but I love this show.
Man, what a
so
tease,
much,
dude!
Hey, it's all good. They're delivering on so many things, but we'll get into that later.
I only brought it up because I know that there's a whole section of the internet that is just super angry every week that goes by that we don't see a Daredevil, and
they don't owe you anything.
I am totally fine with it as well. I just think it's funny how much of a tiff people get in.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I think it would have been different had they had not announced a 24 episode Daredevil show
18.
next year, 18 episode of Daredevil show.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get him. You
Yeah.
gotta wait a couple weeks.
We're gonna get too much of him.
Yeah.
Too much. But welcome back, Clarke. We can always count on you to come and nerd out with us when we have a variety of things to talk about, but we don't have any specific agenda. It's always
fun to be here. Thanks for having me. And as you said, I'm loving She-Hulk, so I am the unabashed She-Hulk lover. Sounds wrong, but
simp? Is it She-Hulk simp?
Where does just curious, like, to gauge for the audience, like, where does your love of She-Hulk rate? I want to say first in the MCU versus overall MCU stories, and then where does she rank in the comics? Because I'm pretty sure it's different.
Yeah, it's very different. Because I'm going to be honest, like, I knew She-Hulk, and I had read some John Byrne and stuff, and I enjoyed it, but not as much as you. You've been a longer comic She-Hulk fan, but it's this MCU She-Hulk. For some reason, this show is just clicking with me. I'm having so much fun watching it, and I'm just really enjoying it. So
that's awesome. Where does she rank though? Like, where does, like, out of all these characters that we've been reintroduced to in the MCU?
Of the Disney Plus shows, this is now my favorite.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that's okay. I know that surprises me.
I would agree.
But it really is. I have not, the other ones I haven't rewatched as quickly. And stuff, and I think a lot of that has to do with the sitcom aspect, the comedy and the way it goes in the shortness. But
I want to say the last couple of weeks it's had a little bit to do with Daredevil also, but I'm honestly never mad when I watch the show. I'm always super excited to wake up on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning and watch it, and then I'm like, okay, there's no Daredevil. Okay, I'm still fine with it. I'm still fine with it because I was fine with it for the first 5 episodes, which were no Daredevil also.
I mean, I actually tried to figure out how to write the creators to say, hey guys, don't worry, I'm still loving it. But it's actually really hard to actually
White male
contact.
here, loving
Yeah.
the show.
Twitter's how
Yeah.
you do it. That's how you do it.
I won't dip my toe in that poison pool.
I mean,
Well,
I'll say it's like I don't want to say it's my favorite. I mean, not to say it's bad, but it's a show that I can
what's your
watch.
favorite if not this?
I really like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people.
and that's up there. No, I really like Falcon Winter Soldier too. That's up there.
But for this one, it's something that I can watch with my partner, who watches all these shows with me. But and it's not even nitpicky. Like, there's no onboarding with the She-Hulk. You know, I think the first episode did a great job of, hey, this is who she is. This is what she does.
If you
She is
don't
a
like
whole-
it, buy.
Yeah.
If you do like it, keep
and you get the
hang out.
it's you know, it's not every episode gets, you know, super, I guess comic booky's the right word, you know. Like, spoiler for this episode, there's like a therapy session with some super D-list characters. Like, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's not like, you know, we need to watch. This is probably the first show, the Marvel or first Disney Plus show where, you know, they're not saving the world, right? And I think
So
that's
far,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, she's just doing her own thing. It fits for the character, but it's also, you know, you're not trying to watch these high stakes every week.
Well, I'll say something quasi-controversial. Then to me, it's similar to how WandaVision started, which I really enjoyed, and I loved because, you know, some people complained that nothing was happening in the first few episodes. You know, we had that discussion when it was going, but I was just loving seeing the characters that I really enjoyed and the actors that I really enjoyed, having fun and doing something different.
In fairness to all the critique of WandaVision or the negativity that it took, there was a lot of pressure on that one being the first show.
Yeah.
You know, and people were trying to understand how you adapt an MCU story to the TV, you know, format. And so, like, I do think aesthetically, WandaVision had a lot of cool things going for it. I just think some of the writing was just like, what are you doing? I'm still pretty bummed about Major Goodner, and I'll never forgive Major Goodner.
That was,
and totally fair. That's an actual disappointment versus the Daredevil. I know Daredevil's coming.
Yeah, exactly. What if it's just Major Goodner instead, dressed up as Daredevil?
It's cosplay. It's
yeah.
No, but you know, they had that little snippet before the even show started where they show him flipping, like, you know, it's Daredevil, you know he's coming.
Yeah,
and it fits perfectly.
Well, that was our sneak peek at our conversation that we'll do later.
I wanted to show you guys these.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. We're so excited about it, we couldn't help starting.
What were you going to show us?
I came across these promo photos of Bridget Nelson. I guess there was going to be a She-Hulk movie.
Bridget Nielsen.
There's going to be a She-Hulk movie in the 90s.
Yes.
And they shot promo material for it. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I think it was the show that CBS was going to.
She was gonna debut in the Trial of the Incredible.
A TV movie. Yeah, the Trials of Incredible Hulk.
But I didn't realize they shot or did promos for it. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know if you
superhero TV in the 90s. Whew.
Yeah, we dodged a bullet there for sure.
Yeah,
we dodged a bullet. Okay, what I was gonna say before that was now that we got that taste of our She-Hulk conversation, we're gonna table that for right now, and we'll come back to it at the end of the show. I have some other formalities to get out of the way. Obviously, we're gonna be talking, like I said, about the two most recent episodes of She-Hulk later tonight. But before that, we have a couple weeks of nerd news to discuss and a quick round of trivia for everyone to play. I did whip up something for you guys.
All right.
And for those of you joining us live, I know you're there. I see you. Don't be shy. Feel free to chat in the comments, because we're going to be checking those regularly, and probably particularly during the trivia in case you want to play as well. And if you can't get enough of us, you should visit patreon.com/DanXmedia, where you'll find a variety of creative offerings, including recent episodes of our live after show, The Soapbox. Patrons, check this out. We're trying something new today. Patrons get exclusive access to not only chat with us in the comments, patrons this week can join us in the live stream. So I've provided them the link, and hopefully that doesn't blow up in my face. But yeah, if
Who
that's
can
not
get enough of Dennis and Ricky?
exactly,
Yeah.
but if that's not your thing, don't worry. We'll be releasing it to the public next week. Not the
Mhm.
streaming or not the live stream joining thing part, but just the video itself. Yeah, I mean, who can get enough of us? Like, honestly, I like the soapbox just because it's a place where we get to like just wind down and just be
Little,
like,
yeah, it's uncut.
"Whoo, okay, now what are we talking about?" You know, like, oops, we've
Yeah, there's some
totally
cool
screwed
shit
up
coming
that,
out.
we totally screwed up that whole segment in the first part of the show, or man, I can't believe we got
I mean,
Clarke.
what else?
That's
What else?
what
Marvel
makes-
stuff. You got Andor. You got. I know you're watching Lord
You
of
mean
the Rings,
outside of
right?
Marvel?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm loving Andor. I love Lord of the Rings, but I didn't allow myself to watch it today because there was other stuff that was occupying my time today. But yeah, no, I nerd out on a lot of things that aren't Marvel,
Mhm.
and I know this is the mostly Marvel podcast, but so we do allow some flexibility to talk about those things, but I just don't want to like, I don't want to totally mislead, and so you know, I like to have another space for us to go and just talk about all the other things we nerd out on. So yeah,
Because
that's what the
we do.
soapbox is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I promise I put other stuff on Patreon. Yeah, all kinds of stuff there, and a lot of it's free content. Like I've been tracking the HasLab for the Ghost Rider thing for a couple weeks now.
Yeah,
I
share
put
that.
I put all of my stuff on there. You know, it's not going good right now, unfortunately.
Shit's gone bad.
Shit, yeah, it took a turn. I can give you that little update really quick before we move on to the news. But I've been tracking it daily every day since it started 2 weeks ago. It had a really good momentum. They tried to achieve an early bird goal of getting 9,000 backers in 1 week. And when it got to that first week, and it got
I bought
kinda
mine
close.
that Friday.
Yeah.
At the end of that day, I'm like, I was like, if it's close, I'll buy 2.
So the problem is there's a lot of people that backed it, and then when it didn't hit the 9,000 on Friday night at 9 p.m., then they started canceling their orders. And more people have been doing that since. So we've actually been seeing the numbers go down since last Friday. And it was really unfortunate because, like, one, I think it's kind of dumb. I know everybody's entitled to do what they want with their money, but here's the thing. There's no money being spent. Like, so if you want to see how far this thing can go and then you want to dip out, that's fine. Just dip out at the last day and you still won't get billed for it because they don't bill anybody until November 1st anyways.
Mhm.
So there's no harm, no foul in placing an order that's not necessarily even going to go through if
You
it
sound
doesn't
like a
succeed.
salesman right now.
Well, I'm just saying, like, people, like, the logic behind canceling because you don't like what you've seen. We can all see what more there is to offer if people keep backing it. You know,
but there's a strategy, just like Kickstarter or any of these projects. You know, when you make these stretch goals and such, and
yeah,
you gotta. The goal is to make them possible. And
Like,
so, like, what if they had made the goal at 6,000 instead of 9,000? Well, then they would have hit it.
I mean,
And with that, and when they would have more now, you know, was 9,000 too much for 1 week?
like
I
he's
mean,
a
that's
pretty niche
ambitious.
character.
It was too much. It was for a niche character. It was too much.
Yeah.
But you know, just a side plug. My friend Boog Nice over at ACBA has hit me up this week. He wanted to check in to see how I've been tracking it and everything, and so I gave him my updates. And this weekend's a little too busy for other stuff that I'll talk about later. But he does want to have me on the show sometime either next week or the week after, before this HasLab ends. So that's a plug. I'll be somewhere else on another podcast, sharing all my nerdy wisdom about how
it
this
is
thing's
gorgeous. I hope it. I really, really hope
it's a cool ass car.
That it
Yeah.
passes, and with Mephisto and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
even it's a little too rich for me, but I want to see it at your place.
Here's the trick: you get 2, then you sell the Mephisto and all the other things that come with it
Yeah, I
for
think that
way
Mephisto's gonna
more.
go for some money, dude.
The Mephisto's gonna go for money. like a lot of money.
Actually, I mean, we'll get into it now. You just want to get in the news? So we
Yeah,
can...
let's just do news.
All right.
We can do this.
We'll talk about the devil in a moment. But other demonic things.
Oh my gosh, your segues were the best.
Blade loses its director this week. Basim Tariq is exiting the movie. So this is supposed to start filming like next month in Cleveland.
Yeah, I think it just got pushed so many times, right, that he couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, if you read into the rumors, it's apparently the script was set in the 1920s. It wasn't anything to be excited about. I mean, but discard that fact. I mean, it's regardless, these movies are on a pretty tight schedule. This movie's still slated to come out next year. So if any changes shifted his schedule, obviously he's not gonna be able to do it. So
I don't think 1920 is automatically means something's gonna suck.
No, but I'm not implying. I'm just reading the rumors.
I'm more worried about the script only being 90 pages.
They are rewriting the scripts
and only having 2 action scenes.
Yes.
Okay, well that's worse. Yes. That's not good.
And that's
not good. Like I want a vampire movie that's exciting, like and a little bit scary. Like it's a vampire movie.
I mean, that first scene in the butcher area, the first scene of Blade is iconic.
The nightclub with the
nightclub,
blood.
Do
you watch What We Do in the Shadows? What we do in the Shadows?
I haven't watched the show.
Oh, this entire season of it has been they've been trying to fulfill their dream of creating a nightclub that's like the one in Blade.
Nice.
They just wanted sprinklers that rain blood on them.
It's pretty funny
because it's in Blade and it's awesome. But yeah, no, I think that's a high bar. That, like you're saying, that first scene in that movie is so iconic, and I think that whole movie is really iconic. Like, that movie's still,
I mean, it set the tone for an era, right?
We know that's the movie that really brought comic book movies back because we were alive and we went through that generation and such. So it is important. But so I'm like, I feel bad about this, but I also feel like, okay, I'd rather them do some serious course corrections than put out mediocre product.
The last bit of the rumor mill for this one is they want to get just a heavy hitter as a director to fill in the slot. Names being thrown around on the wish list are Spike Lee, getting Sam Raimi back. What are you thinking?
Well, here's my problem. Like, the more and more these rumors are going around about that stuff. Like, I've heard rumors about Steven Spielberg being the person for Fantastic Four before they got Matt Shakman to do it. I get weirded out because I think it's a little bit more of pulling the curtain back and showing you how the sausage is made and showing you that really, like the Sam Raimi movie, so much of the movie gets made without the director's involvement that, like, it feels weird to have a name on there. You know what I mean? Like that, like, I don't know. I even feel that way about like Ready Player One. Like Ready Player One, how much of that was really Steven Spielberg? Because like I feel like a lot of it was previs already.
Well, I think a lot in that because they really changed the script with the writer. Because I read, for someone who read the book first and then saw that they had to change all the challenges because the things that worked in the book didn't work on the things. So I think Spielberg did have a lot to do with that one but I totally get your point because so much of it is green screen and already determined because it was taking IPs. But
like if you're a seasoned director like that, I could see the appeal of like, hey, you want to come shoot this thing for 3 months? It's a cakewalk to them, and it's it could be fun.
I wanted Doctor Strange to be like a home run. I really did because I love Sam Raimi. But like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is pretty middle of the road for me.
It will probably be the worst Marvel movie this year.
Well, I
why
mean,
why do you gotta talk like that? That's ridiculous.
I'm just, you know,
that I mean, posting
of this
it in
year,
that thing. Yeah, but you're saying
one
of this,
has to be it.
yeah, one does have to be the worst Marvel movie of this year. I mean, we discussed this when it came out, though. You know, we all know that I like the movie more than you guys did, so we're not going to rehash that whole discussion. But
movie a lot, and then
yes.
there's other parts that don't feel like consistent.
Yeah,
but I've always agreed with you on that. That there's absolutely parts of that movie that feel Sam Raimi, and other parts that don't.
Yeah, and I think that's the risk that you run into.
Yeah.
When you get a bigger name, you know what I mean? Like what is it? What's the guy who did the Spider-Man movies? Something Watts, like John Watts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know what that guy's style is, because like, you know what I mean? Because those are just good movies like that. But I think so much of those movies was already decided before John Watts shows up with the camera.
It's a different style of directing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's one of the byproducts of having an MCU, because they do have to have it match, and it's something that I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to, you know, so I'm okay with that, because I would rather have things connect well. Because just look at DC, you know, the opposite. So that is something that we do give up. That some of the directors give up some of their individuality, and some directors can deal with that, other ones can't. And I'm not putting the blame on this director, but I mean, again, if things are falling apart, they have the course correction. And some people are like, well, Feige's stretched out, which seriously, the guy, I don't know how much he can really oversee. You know, come on, he can't produce everything and save Sony.
He does. And yet he does. Yeah.
But Blade coming out next year. We'll probably learn more at a Comic-Con, or
I hope they're able to course correct. They'll throw some money at it.
New York Comic Con's in like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
I doubt. Oh, maybe then. I was expecting like next year. By next summer, we'll know more about Blade.
Yeah, we'll know. What else you got, Ricky?
Another movie got announced. Kinda. Armored Wars, not a show anymore. And it came out at D23 2 weeks ago and said, "Hey, we're this show's still happening." And today it came out that this is going to be a movie instead.
It was a couple days ago, I think.
2 days, a couple days ago. You know what's funny is the official post on Marvel says, like, as reported by Hollywood Reporter, Armored Wars will no longer be a show. Like,
that's funny. Yeah, no, I think when I read this the other day, I was I laughed a little bit, because I was like, outside of She-Hulk, What If, and WandaVision, I do feel like the biggest problem with all the Disney Plus shows is that they feel like movies that were just stretched out. So this only shows you that, like, yeah, it works either way. It's just like we might edit some stuff to be a more tight experience. And I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not complaining about the Disney Plus shows or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, you can tell,
a different budget too.
You can tell that each of them, well, I mean, they've already filmed most of it, so I think it was the budget.
It hasn't started filming. It already has it.
Yeah, Armor Wars.
No, it hasn't started. Secret Invasion.
Oh,
been
sorry.
filmed.
I'm thinking of
Secret
Invasion. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
hey,
if it's a tighter movie, that's fine. Like, I hope people are okay with the idea of Rhodey being the new Iron Man, because
and look, they're allowed to make changes.
I'm happy that they are. That's cool that they can
on the field. Yeah, I'm glad they're looking at it. Yeah, and they're like, you know what?
No, it's cool because Don Cheadle gets more money this way, probably.
Terrence Howard's fucking pissed right now.
Probably. Yeah. But I'm excited for this. But what I'm saying is, I don't think I'm more or less excited either way.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna consume it no matter what.
Yeah.
This just means I gotta go risk getting COVID one more time. But like, I mean, dear God, I hope like by the time that movie comes out, we're past this. But
while there wasn't any set date for the show, this presumably does move it back. So
yeah,
we'll see it when we
sometime
see it.
next year, right? Is like
this is like a 2024.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm excited for him. I'm down.
We'll kind of pivot to the Iron Man related stuff. You remember Anthem, the game no one played?
Oh, we
I
played.
played the crap out of Anthem.
I think the common theme out of that game was,
Is that it should have been
hey,
an Iron Man game.
yeah, it should have been an Iron Man game.
Are they the ones making the game?
They're the ones making an Iron Man game. EA's
pretty
Motive
rad.
Studio
Yeah, I'm
is
okay
making
with
an
that.
Iron Man game coming out next year, or sorry,
But
2024.
they
I
did
thought it was
Giant Knights,
BioWare.
right?
BioWare that made Anthem.
BioWare, but doesn't EA own BioWare? Did make Anthem.
Yeah, BioWare made Anthem.
BioWare made Anthem. Motive
was Motive the studio? I mean, BioWare might have.
Motive is there is lineage between BioWare and Motive. There you go.
Mhm.
I could be
Okay.
wrong.
But if you say from the makers of Anthem, I'm fully on board because
That game should have always
that
been
was-
an Iron Man game.
that was the most fun about it.
A little nugget out of this was
It's just-
Marvel basically came out and said that these, the Iron Man game, the Spider-Man game, the Wolverine game that's in development, they're all kind of their own unique
right
universes with
Keep
their
it
own
that way.
stories.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So keeping them separate, which kind of
That's
cool.
fine. That's fine. I don't need a shared universe in that. Like usually the shared game universe involves lots of stupid ISOs, crystals that you gotta collect, and it's dumb.
Yeah.
It's dumb. So just
I will
have them be
say
their own worlds.
The square circle hole. What is it? The I forgot what's his thing called in his chest.
You mean the
The
Unibeam?
arc reactor.
The Unibeam, the arc reactor.
Unibeam.
There
Or
you
the
go.
arc reactor,
The square arc reactor. I don't know, not my cup of tea. I'm either a triangle or a circle guy.
What about a diamond? He's had diamond ones too.
I haven't seen a good diamond one.
I'm pretty sure
Well-
you have a toy with a diamond one.
I have it's like a Superman shield. The one behind me.
That's a diamond.
Diamond
exa-
adjacent.
A Superman shield is the shape of a diamond. Oh my gosh. Keep going. Keep going.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is doing some press. The movie comes out in about a month.
Yes,
Beginning of
2
November?
months.
Yes.
End of
Um,
November. Yeah.
In interviews with Empire, they essentially confirmed that Namor is a mutant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool to get the confirmation.
I mean, I was hoping that they would do that in the movie. Like,
I mean, it was
confirm
implied when they showed the trailer. He has a baby,
With the
had the
wings,
wings,
yeah.
but
Yeah. He's supposed to be the first mutant, so this tracks. It's fine.
What's Apocalypse? He just like the second mutant?
I mean, the comic is called Namor the First Mutant. I'm not going to debate who is
Okay.
really
No, I
the
was just
first
curious.
mutant, but it's
Pretty
there's-
sick looking
there's
Namor
people
though.
beyond. There's people older
Namor,
than
the Namor
than
comic
Apocalypse
came
and
out
Namor.
before Apocalypse.
Fair.
It's true.
So if you're going just by what was the first comic book,
I guess isn't
mutant.
Apocalypse like an alien technically?
No, but Selene, I believe, is the oldest mutant. Actually,
Oh, okay.
we're getting in the weeds. Don't
Namor
worry
is a
about it.
mutant in the movie.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. That's cool. Let's get more mutants. Let's
Yep.
get these mutants
We
right
gotta
here.
get these mutants. Last bit of news: Ryan Reynolds out of the blue.
Out of the blue. I don't know if it was
Kind of out of the blue. It was like on Tuesday, wasn't it?
I was
Just dropped a.
Remember when I
Twitter-
said 2 weeks ago, I was like, I want them to talk about Deadpool at D23.
and they basically said, "Hey, we're sorry we couldn't be at D23, but we're
Yeah.
making Deadpool 3."
So I kind of feel like you owe me a
with
pizza
Hugh
now. I don't
Jackman.
know.
I mean, this wasn't at D23.
Yeah, but they mentioned D23 in the preview.
it's D23 adjacent.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah,
It is
D24.
At least some breadsticks.
But
Hugh
yeah,
Jackman
it's gonna be
is gonna be back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the first Deadpool
Mhm.
movie in the MCU.
Yeah, look at that logo.
Have fun
up top.
with it.
I think we could spend 1,000,000 hours discussing how this movie's gonna play out.
He just got to be in the suit. Like that's
But I just want to hear, Clarke and Ricky's one wish list for what this is. Like what do you want out of this movie that's gonna have Deadpool and Wolverine?
I want, since I believe they are going to miss. They said this is not the Logan from Logan
Mhm.
because that wasn't when they're leaving that there. If they're doing multiverse stuff or whatever, just have fun with it. Like they're bringing him back with it. I
I
know.
hope everyone
just-
wins.
Yeah, just go nuts. Have Gwenpool. Have have more of the crazy Deadpool stuff. Now you've got the budget, the backing, the other stuff. Just go nuts with the reality tripping and other stuff, and just have fun. And yes, I would like to see, just for once, Wolverine in the brown and yellow.
So you want the brown one,
You want
right?
the brown suit? Okay.
Brown and tan. Brown and tan.
You know what? I don't care. If they do the dark blue and yellow, if they whichever one, they could do both.
My preference is the brown and tan. Honestly,
Okay.
if Wolverine is by himself, brown and tan. If he's with the X-Men,
I mean,
yellow and blue all the way.
The
Yellow
the
and
added footage from the Wolverine, had the brown and tan.
Yeah, it was a
suit
brown and tan
at the end, and I would like to see him finally in the suit. But again, I think they are gonna just have so much fun with it. I mean, just imagine the improvs that these guys are gonna do on set.
I mean, those two love each other.
They do.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I love that they just added a movie. So you said earlier they added Armor Wars. They added this to the slate.
This one though there is an untitled film for 2024 that is still untitled. That presumably this is that movie.
But again, I mean, they mixed it.
all
I mean, remember when they showed us
26,
Phase
right?
3?
Yeah,
that was
they
before
lock in-
they even brought in Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man just shifted.
Yeah,
everything.
they lock in dates years out, and then
Yeah.
you wait and see as you get closer.
Yeah.
To Clark's point, my wish is just a suit, but you got to have fun with it. You do. I'll play the scene for you. Hey Wolverine, thanks for joining my team. If you're gonna be part of the team, you have to have a cool costume. Cut to montage. He tries on every single costume the people want in
Dude,
quick
that
cuts.
would be hilarious.
How about the brown one? How about in yellow? How about this ultimate suit? And then at the end, I don't even care if he gets the suit on past that point. You just have the screen grab in him or with him in all the suits, and you're done. You satisfy.
That would be
everyone.
hilarious.
That's fair. It's very in line with Marvel, how they usually do the real version of the suit too. So
Yeah.
maybe or just possibly they do something more creative than that because it's so predictable to do it that way. But yeah, I'm down.
The post credit scene is just him in the suit.
The post credits with him in the suit would be
It's
pretty
like you
hilarious.
wanted it, fine.
Fine.
Yeah. If you thought Cable was too short, though, whew, man, that is a tall Wolverine. That is a tall Wolverine. It's cool. I'm excited for it. I love the freaking Deadpool movies, and I love that he's always used a Deadpool movie as an opportunity to troll Hugh Jackman. So this is great that they finally got Hugh Jackman to come.
I have one more wish.
Well, actually, he wasn't two, right?
Yeah,
he wasn't. Deadpool 2.
I hope they continue the trend and later on do a PG-13 cut, because Once Upon a Deadpool is hilarious.
I've never seen it. I can't find it anywhere all the time.
Not on Disney
I always try to find it. It's not on Disney Plus.
No, I
it's
own
not
it.
on Hulu. Oh, well,
what do you think they paid Hugh Jackman to come back?
Who cares?
That's a big check right there.
I think Hugh Jackman has always said that he would come back for an MCU story where he gets to be with the Avengers.
Yeah,
and I think
goodwill.
Ryan. I mean, I think his buddy had a little something to do with it.
Yeah, he probably just gave him a football team. Sorry, soccer team.
By the way, I love that show.
I haven't checked it out yet, but I will. But
Welcome to
Ricky,
Wrexham
I
on Hulu.
think it's my turn for news.
It's your
Should
turn.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna drive, so you don't have to.
I do like this Iron Man.
Oh my!
You don't have to drive.
I like
this
my! I want to go play Marvel vs. Capcom right now.
So let me preface some stuff. So I'm about to show you guys a whole lot of toys because today was day one of Hasbro PulseCon, and it's basically their 2-day online convention where they just show you all the things that you want to buy for the year. And they even sell some stuff right after the convention's over on each day. The day kicked off with this one actually got announced to all the outlets in advance. This is a new version of the modular suit Iron Man that Ricky and I already have, I believe. He comes on a retro card inside that box and then a separate box for the cannon. the funniest thing about this, they are not calling it the Proton Cannon, and they are not mentioning Marvel versus Capcom
It costs money
because
if you
they
do.
do not have any of the
Right.
legal rights to say it. So I think it's
Mhm.
called like the Plasma Cannon. But you, I, and every other freaking human being on this planet knows what that thing is, and it's awesome. And he actually comes with multiple heads. So one from that's accurate to the game, and one that's accurate to.
I like the mullet one to the cartoon.
Yeah, and then he also comes to the mullet one. Yeah, because this is also the suit he wore in the cartoon, in the Iron Man cartoon.
Mhm.
And then he's got a really cool unibeam thing going on
Mhm.
there. And yeah, he's just got a lot of cool effects.
and the mines.
Yeah, so this one actually went up for
Okay.
pre-order today, so you
Really?
can go grab this one on
I think
Hasbro.
I think I'm gonna have to get that.
I kind of
He's
want
pretty great.
because like this is the set I'm going for with my. I have him fighting Ultron behind me.
Nice.
And
I mean,
this is
he's it's a beautiful figure. It comes with lots of stuff, and it comes with that old school Toy Biz packaging art. And then this one got announced
Oh
too.
my!
The funniest thing
Oh my
about
wallet!
the Hasbro event today, the freaking power went out at Hasbro's like studio while the event was running, and so nobody got to see this until after the show was over. They had like some people jump in and be like, "Yo, power went out. Sorry, the stream got cut. Here's what you missed." And we're like, "What? It's a Daredevil 3-pack." It's amazing, and like yeah, I think this is based off of Frank
Miller's
story, specifically where Elektra's wearing white and Bullseye has like this blue chest part of his costume. And then that Daredevil, I got to show you some details on that one. The Daredevil comes with some awesome accessories that allow him to do different whipping moves with his billy clubs. He actually comes with 2 different wires that you can plug into the billy clubs to make it look different, like different Joe Quesada poses. There's the Elektra comes with
look
2
at
heads.
hair.
She comes with the big hair, the big hair.
Yes,
that is some
John
Frank
Romita
Miller
Jr.
hair right there.
And also Frank Miller.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then Bullseye actually comes with 2 heads as well. He also comes with a hand not seen here in this picture of him throwing a few daggers or whatever, like
the tooth.
Yeah, the tooth is awesome. He's missing a tooth. But yeah, this pack also went up for pre-order today. It's amazing. I love me some Daredevil, so I'm all about
You
this.
think we're ever gonna Colin Farrell Daredevil or Bullseye toy?
Probably not. Yeah. Side note, I almost bought the old Toy Biz version of this Elektra at a Comic-Con a few years ago. And I almost got it really cheap.
I didn't even notice. Look at her hands. She's like holding the sai. Like,
oh yeah, Elektra's always come with sai holding
That's
fingers. Cool. Like every Elektra toy that's been made has correct hands for that. But yeah, I almost got that a version of that costume years ago, but the guy wasn't sure he was selling it for the right price, so he like called his buddy up who runs the booth, and then they're like, "Oh no deal," and I was like, "Damn." So I was like, I'm not going to pay the money they wanted me to pay for it, but now I don't have to because it's at retail. So there you go. Keep it going. We got way more. So they did a check-in like we were talking about earlier. The team wanted to check in and let you know about the Mephisto that's going to be the tier 1 unlock for the HasLab Engine of Vengeance. So here's an actual version of the Mephisto. He's tall. He's about 7 inches tall.
He's a big guy.
People are a little upset about those feet because they don't match the leggings.
It looks like he has shoes.
People are saying it looks like he has Crocs.
Does Mephisto have? Is he barefoot or is he rocking shoes?
He's not barefoot, but he does. I thought those wraps go down to his feet.
Okay.
Whatever. People can fix it with paint if they want or whatever. I don't know.
Devil needs to be comfortable.
But they also
the devil's in the details.
Exactly. And speaking of which, they also like to tease what the next tier was. So they showed this picture with a little detail. And they mentioned that the thing that is above Mephisto's hand is not necessarily to scale, but it is a tease of another character that might be coming. So they wanted to make it very clear for this one. Robbie Reyes is a very niche character. He's not the Ghost Rider that everybody knows, right? He's not even the second Ghost Rider that everybody knows. But so what they're doing is their plan is for the unlocks to be characters that are demonic related, not so much Ghost Rider related, but just in that demonic realm, and they want them to be characters that they wouldn't normally be able to sell in retail, right? So that's why they put the devil in here in this box set. But they wanted you to know that there's other characters that are going to fit that same kind of theme. So Clarke, you don't have to know, but what do you think that thing is that's above his hands in that picture? Does it look familiar to you at all?
Reach into your devil worship knowledge and tell me what that is.
Like some sort of I mean, it's a jewel.
They joked and said it's a pumpkin pie, but it's not.
It looks like a pie. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It does kind of look like a pie. I'm just curious. Does it look like anything you may have seen here?
Oh, that's interesting.
I think it's the Goblin Queen, and a lot of people think it's the Goblin Queen. And she is a wildly inappropriate character to make a toy of for retail. So I'm thinking it's Madeline Pryor, and I think a lot of people are kind of excited about that. But as I was saying before, the numbers are not going up, so maybe people aren't that excited about it, or people just want to see the real thing, right?
They just rallied the perverts.
People just want to know, like, are you really going to do the cleavage though? Like what level of cleavage? Like
that's the final. That's next week's post.
That for anybody who's listening to the show, by the way, just Google Goblin Queen Marvel, and then you can tell me what level of cleavage the toy should have.
Yeah, this looks like the backside of Comic-Con here. Like
the backside of Comic-Con. Yeah. Nice.
So
moving on. Check it out. They got more reveals coming down our way. This guy, I think Ricky is very familiar with this guy.
Is it Orb, right?
It's Orb. Orb has actually shown up in multiple trivias that we've done on this show.
Just like Evel Knievel.
He is dressed like Evel Knievel. That's kind of like the whole point of him.
Is it really?
He's actually a Ghost Rider villain, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
But they promise he is not part of the Ghost Rider campaign. He will be coming out in a regular wave next year. But they do like to make figures to complement, HasLabs. So like this year, Galactus is coming like in a month or so. So they're putting out a lot of Heralds of Galactus cosmic characters that will go good with your display. So it makes sense that they would put a Ghost Rider villain out there for retail. But yeah, that's Orb in all his giant eyeball glory. That's a weird one. Are you familiar with this character, Clarke?
No.
Yeah, you should Google him later. He's weird. He's an eyeball.
Does, and that is the gun. Give him LASIK?
That is the gun that they teased a few months ago in a previous HasLab. They always try or not HasLab, Hasbro.
Yeah, what's his gun do?
I don't know.
Like he's just a big eye.
He's a guy with a big eyeball, and he's got a gun that's really.
Is there a socket for the eye, or does he have to like turn his head to see?
It moistens his eyeball.
Yes, it's eye moistener. But yeah, this one's not available for pre-order. They just wanted to show off some figures coming out later next year. Here's another one. Clarke, who's this?
Oh gosh.
Or let me ask Ricky, who is familiar.
This? Bootleg Quicksilver.
We actually talked about this guy just recently on this show a few weeks ago when I was saying
I watched the HasLab thing too, so I should know.
We are so close to having a complete Secret Wars set of figures. And this guy just made it way closer.
It's not Star Fox.
It's Molecule Man?
It is
Molecule Man. There you go.
He's in both Secret Wars storylines, and and then Selena just chimed in that reminds me of the Finger People from Spy Kids. I'm assuming she's talking about Orb and not Molecule Man. But yeah, Molecule Man's like actually one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. Never had a Marvel Legends figure, and he's finally getting one.
Respect on his name.
Put some respect on his name. Yeah, he's a weird one. If you've never read the 1984 Secret Wars, he's a big part of that. He's like it's him, Dr. Doom, and like Kang and Galactus are like the four main villains. But then like it's really Dr. Doom kind of manipulating Molecule Man to do stuff for him, right? And then the more recent Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars is also actually built around Molecule Man as well, but he plays a smaller role in that. I think it's cool to finally have him, and he's got double pinless arms and legs, and he freaking looks like Molecule Man. So there you go. Here's another one. They're bringing it back. Moonstone was actually a Comic-Con exclusive many years ago, and people are always bitter because like they just couldn't get their hands on it. She came in a Thunderbolts 5-pack, I think.
Yeah, she was a Thunderbolt.
Yeah, and
Moonstone.
so they put out a new version of Moonstone, and she's going to be a Walgreens exclusive. So take
What does she do?
She's a villain on the Thunderbolts. She's like a kind of like the anti Captain Marvel. She actually, when they did the Dark Avengers story in the Thunderbolts, she actually dressed up as Captain Marvel to be the Dark Captain Marvel.
Okay.
She's just got flying powers and strength, and
she's like a psychologist or something like that.
Yeah, she's like an evil psychologist. She's like Zemo's girlfriend, I think, in the story, if I remember correctly.
Moonstone.
Okay. Yep, Carla Sofin is her real name. And then they wanted to let us know that the MCU is still getting some love from Disney's What If. They're going to be giving us Armored Warrior Gamora, which I think we got a glimpse of her, right?
She's in the last 2 episodes, right?
Yeah, but supposedly I think she's going to be showing up in the new season because there was an episode that got cut from last season. So we'll see if we see more of this character. But there you go. It's Gamora in a Thanos costume, basically. And then let's keep it going. Oh, yes. Then they made me very excited because they wanted to let us know that next year is actually the 60th anniversary of the X-Men. And so they want to get us hyped because there's going to be a lot of X-Men toys coming out next year. And they revealed a costume that I don't know if you're quite fond of it, Clarke, but I love when Wolverine wore the actual X-Men uniform.
Yeah, looks fine.
It was a Jim Lee drawn story where literally all of the X-Men that were on that team wore the outfit.
Gold, yeah.
This exact same outfit. Yeah. And so it was like Forge, Jubilee, Psylocke, Gambit. Gambit actually didn't wear the trench coat for once. And it was such a cool thing to see. Like, you never get to see the X-Men actually coordinate to that degree unless you watch the movies. And so I don't know why. I was just really excited to see a Wolverine in the real costume. And then they also announced he's on a retro card. And then they also announced Longshot, which may or may not have fans excited because Longshot just got offered in a Mojo 3-pack a few months ago in April it was supposed to be the Comic-Con exclusive this year. So if you didn't get that, I guess there's another Mojo.
Is he like Evil Gambit?
Another Longshot. No, he's not Evil Gambit. He's got less fingers than Gambit. He's actually from the Mojo universe. So he's a character from that universe. He's actually Mojo's biggest star until Mojo decides one day, because basically Mojo's a television producer, and so Longshot is like his main, draw.
Star.
It gets the ratings until he gets his eyes set on the X-Men he wants to steal them to make them into their new.
I want to read this Mojo comic because every time you explain him to me, it sounds like batshit insane.
Mojo he's crazy. He's pretty nuts. This reminds me, supposedly there's been leaks of a single boxed Mojo coming out
it's already out in stores, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been seen in stores. The paint job looks way worse than the one being offered for the exclusive, so we'll see. But yeah, and then there's more figures in this wave. I'm going to keep going. Multiple Man in his original costume and Dark Phoenix on a retro card for everybody who wasn't able to get the Dark Phoenix from the Toys R Us exclusive pack. Literally, that was like one of the last Toys R Us exclusives right before Toys R Us died.
I like that effect on her hand.
It was kind of a hard thing for people to get. And so this is a second chance for people to get a Dark Phoenix.
Nice.
It's pretty great. She's actually got updates. So she's got a corrected sash with the Phoenix logo on it. She has pinless legs and double jointed arms as well, which the old one did not. So there you go. And then 2 more to complete the wave: Avalanche and Spiral.
This is the bottom of the barrel right here.
Oh my God, this is so not the bottom of the barrel. These are like
what's the bottom?
This is the top of the barrel, man. Avalanche
You got
has
White
never
Steel
has never had a figure
and
made in Marvel Legends, and he is a core member of the Brotherhood of Mutants.
oh my god.
So for everybody that just got a Toad figure recently from the new 20th anniversary, everybody's been saying, "Where's Avalanche?" Because we've never gotten one. The main team is like Mystique, Avalanche, Toad, Blob, Sabretooth, and who am I missing?
Nostalgia is a hell of a
Magneto?
drug.
Well,
For
yeah,
sure.
obviously Magneto, but I meant like I meant his lackeys.
Mhm.
I think that's about it. But yeah,
Mhm.
so there's an Avalanche figure.
What does
Finally.
Avalanche do? Just what?
He causes earthquakes. He really should not be called Avalanche. He should
Okay.
be called Earthquake, but
Quake.
or Quake, yeah. And then Spiral is
Spiral, I
absolutely
remember
not the
from
bottom of the
'90s
barrel.
Wolverine comics.
Spiral
Yeah.
is the right hand man of Mojo. If Mojo's like the producer, then like Spiral's like the AP. She's the one that gets his shows running and stuff, and she's also kind of his enforcer too. So they just wanted to get us
Mojo's shows. Just
they wanted to get us an updated Spiral because we've had one in the Marvel Legends line years ago. It's scaled a little weird, but this thing, 6 articulated arms, 6 weapons. I don't know. What do you think of this one? You like Spiral, right, Clarke?
Yeah, I remember Spiral from the X-Men cartoon
And the video game, right?
and the video game.
Fighting game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool.
It looks cool because I like swords, and that's a lot of swords.
It's a lot of swords. I'm gonna keep it going. And then they were like,
Oh,
"Don't worry though.
man.
If you
Look at
like
that.
if you like the Wolverine, don't worry. You're gonna get more next year.
With Palpatine hands.
There's a Storm
I
in the
like.
X-Men uniform, and they're like, if you like that, just keep going.
Look at that hair.
It's
Oh,
Banshee
Banshee.
in the uniform. So yeah, at this point, I was just like, "Oh my god, they're gonna do it for all of them.
Your poor
You're already
wallet.
in.
They're gonna do it
the
for
hole
all of them.
for $1,000 already.
They're gonna
Yeah.
do it. It's so good. It's so good, guys. I'm gonna keep going. And then they're like, "Hey, you want a new Strife? Here's a new Strife."
Yeah.
You have nipple
He was
rings?
also a Toys R Us exclusive years ago, so they decided to update the figure, make it a lot nicer. I think it looks great. It's the clone of it's the evil clone of Cable. There you go. That's Strife. And then they're like, "Don't forget, you got those animated figures that are in the VHS boxes. I think you guys want this one, right? It's Cyclops." And they actually made some retooling on the old Cyclops toys they've made before. So he's actually his shoulder belt is now 2 pieces that are affixed to his body, so like they move properly when he does articulation.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the bands around his legs are now set in there. They're inset, so they're never gonna fall off his legs anymore. So they just made some updates to the figure, and then he's got that cell shading to make him look like
Look at that 6-pack.
the cartoon. Oh, that's like a billion pack is what that is. Yeah. So yeah, Marvel Cyclops also available for pre-order today. It goes really nice with all your other VHS boxed X-Men figures.
That's my favorite Cyclops.
I know, he's great.
Outfit.
And then they wanted to let us know that don't worry, they understand there's more X-Men from this cartoon that they want to do, but they're going to take a break with the X-Men after Cyclops, and which is really a weird move considering the X-Men's anniversary is next year. But they want to switch gears, so they're going to do some more VHS boxes next year, but of a different cartoon.
Man, I just bought a Black Spider-Man.
If it's the X-Men anniversary, Spider-Man is not far behind.
No, Spider-Man's actually ahead of the X-Men. This year was Spider-Man's anniversary, which was why we got a billion Spider-Man toys this year.
This dude's gonna be pinless. I know it.
It's gonna be it's probably gonna be a pinless Black Spider-Man versus Carnage.
Toe articulation.
Probably toe articulation.
I waited months for mine to come in. They did me dirty.
This is the game, man. This is how it goes.
Bullshit.
But if anything, he'll probably have like blue cell shaded paint on him.
Fair.
So he's gonna look different and weird.
Yes, I'll spend more money.
Yeah, there you go. But they didn't say when this is gonna come, but it's probably gonna be a 2-pack, and there'll be more figures also. But here we go. Keep going. And then one last one they revealed today. Next week is going to be Collector Con from Walmart. That's
Walmart.
just Walmart's excuse to like latch on to other real conventions. So they're gonna do a first appearance Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord figure. This is what he looked like when he first appeared in the comics. It's weird. He's got a sword for some reason. But yeah, that's it.
And
Okay,
an
guys.
owl hat.
That was so much content. Most of those things are actually not available for pre-order. The only ones available today for pre-order were the Daredevil 3-pack, the Cyclops, and the retro carded 6 X-Men, including Spiral and Avalanche. And the rest of that stuff is all stuff that we can look forward to
And
next year.
It's enough to already hurt your wallet.
It's enough.
I looked them up in that.
It's enough.
They hurt.
The
They
Daredevil
hurt.
hurts the most, just so you know.
But you get 3 figures. That Iron Man, they're charging you for that proton cannon. That's
Oh,
not
they're
proton
charging you
cannon.
for the proton cannon for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
yeah.
They're like,
They have like a relationship with Capcom too, because they're doing the Capcom Power Rangers figures right now.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
a little dirty.
I don't know how it works. But why don't we switch gears and let's do a little bit of games before we
Oh,
sorry,
man.
it was a lot, right?
I know. I already failed all your
shit. We're like an hour in.
Trivia questions.
No, but we haven't done the trivia questions yet. Here we go. We're doing it. Do it, Ricky. All right. In honor of Hasbro PulseCon, I decided to make this not exclusively a Marvel trivia this time around. I wanted to do a trivia celebrating toys, just in general toys. Specifically Hasbro toys, but that really encompasses a lot of things because Hasbro owns.
Yeah.
I kind of
the Disney of toys.
Yeah, they are the Disney of toys. I kind of wanted to just test yours and the viewers' knowledge on toys, just to see how good you could do at this. I promise they're not like crazy. Maybe the first one's a little crazy, but let's hear. Here we go. First up, what was Optimus Prime's original name? Multiple choice, guys. A, Ultra Magnus. B, Alpha Trion. C, Convoy. D, Orion Pax. Or E, Peter Cullen. I'll let Ricky go first because his answers are hilarious.
I know Ultra Magnus is a Transformer because I had him as a kid. I bought him on sale.
Okay. And the audience is welcome to chime in as well.
But I'll be willing to concede that was going to be his original name for Optimus Prime, and they just reused it later on. So A.
I didn't ask what was gonna be his original name. I said what was his original name.
A. I'll say like.
Okay.
Oh, so they called him this in the comics?
Clarke, what's your answer?
D, Orion Pax.
Okay.
D, Orion Pax. All right. Well, guess what, guys? There were actually 2 possible answers I was going to let you go with.
Convoy
or Orion Pax.
Convoy was the Japanese toy name.
So depending on your interpretation of the question, either canonically, before he inherited the Matrix of Leadership, he was a different Transformer known as Orion Pax. But technically, really, before they ever imported Transformers over to America, this guy was named Convoy. Yep. Yeah. There you go. Ultra Magnus is actually his brother, who is a different figure entirely. But
he's white.
He's a white Optimus Prime, but with a giant blue shell on top of it.
Yeah.
I had him. All right, moving on. Power Rangers. Just curious if you guys know anything about Power Rangers. Cosmic Fury is the newest season that's going to be coming out next year. What season will it be of Power Rangers? A, season 50. B, season 25. C, season 100. D, season 30. Or E, season 40.
Oh, it's B or D.
I'm saying D.
I'm gonna go B, 25.
Clarke's going with D, 30.
30, yeah.
Sorry, the comments, if you're voting, it's going to come in a little late, but I'll post it when you show it.
Going per year.
So coincidentally, it has actually been 1 per year, and it's the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers next year. Is that not crazy? Does that not make you feel old?
Oh yeah.
I guess they are older than me. Yeah.
30 years. They've been around for 30 years, man. That's nuts.
Was that ever your jam as a kid? I never.
I just saw a picture of the Blue Ranger and Black Ranger, for the 30th anniversary. And yes,
Clarke and I
was
were a
cool.
little too old for this one, but I did watch it sometimes.
I did the first season.
Yeah, I watched the movie.
Yeah,
The first
Ivan
two,
Ooze.
first two movies, and then I've seen all the Power
I
Rangers
like
movies.
the recent movie.
Actually,
For
I
what it
like
was.
Saban's Power Rangers.
I like the recent movie.
That was too bad that didn't continue.
Fun
The
fact:
Breakfast Club with Power Rangers.
Fun fact: when I was researching, I was trying to find trivia questions for Power Rangers. I learned. Did you know Disney owned them for 8 years? And then sold them back to Saban in 2019.
Yes.
Or 2018. And then Saban sold it to Hasbro. Isn't that weird that Disney would own something and then get rid of it? I don't hear that story very often. Usually they hang onto their IPs. But who knows? All right. Clarke's kicking your butt so far. So we're going to keep going. What is the length of the G.I. Joe USS Flag play set? A, 6 feet. B, 7 feet 6 inches. C, 4 feet 10 inches. D, 10 feet. E, 3 feet 8 inches. Ricky goes first.
I've seen one in person.
Nice.
I've seen one at Comic-Con. It's either 4 or 6. I'm gonna go 410. C.
Clarke, what is it?
B.
It's 7? Is it 7?
7'6"?
Mm-hmm. 7'6".
7. God. I don't think you've actually seen one at Comic-Con.
I don't remember the scale.
I actually remember seeing the box at Toys R Us when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Up on the top shelf, because of course they couldn't have any down. Just looking up at it, this massive, huge box. I didn't know anybody that owned one.
This figure is the holy grail for G.I. Joe.
It is, right? It's like the one.
It's the one, and it's the one that justifies why you collect the figures at that small scale, because this will never get made at the bigger scale.
Yeah.
Because even this is scaled too small for a aircraft carrier correctly. But a 7.5 foot. Oh, several Sky Strikers fit on it actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But a 7.5 foot playset is nuts. That's crazy.
I mean, this is just a HasLab waiting to happen.
This is not.
It's like $1,000 HasLab.
They can't ship this thing. No.
They can.
No.
They will. You have to. You have to do it.
No.
It's interesting watching YouTube videos of collectors searching for this.
Oh, sorry. Do you mean at the same scale? At the same scale, maybe.
Yeah, yes. At the same scale.
Okay, yeah, but they'll never do it for the classified series. I don't think they'll ever do it for that.
I think you can retool it. I think you could.
It wouldn't. No. Yeah.
You do it in two parts.
Let's keep going. Clarke's kicking your butt. I just want to remind you. Here's one for Ricky. I think this is a Ricky question. Ooh. What year did Nerf introduce the first Dart Blaster? A, 1989. B, 1972, C, 1969, D, 1983, or E, 1992? Ricky goes first.
It's A, isn't it? 89?
Well, are you asking me?
Yeah. I'm saying 89. 89.
See, is the Dart Blaster different from, so that's the one with the suction cups?
The Dart Blaster is literally the one right there on the picture.
Oh, okay.
That is the first Nerf blaster, or that's the new re-release of the first Nerf blaster.
Yeah,
I really don't know, so I'm gonna go with E.
He's gonna go with E, 1992.
Yeah.
Well, Clarke is kicking your butt again.
Wow. Okay.
Right. That looks new, too modern for the plastic. To be 70s plastic.
That particular plastic is a re-release.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of modeled after.
Sure. It led me to guess correctly.
I took that picture straight from Hasbro when they gave the fun fact of that. But yeah, 2 years earlier was like the first like bow. And so 3 years earlier. So 1989 was the first bow. You know, the first Nerf anything was actually 1969.
The football.
It was a ball. It was just a ball.
Or the ball.
It was like a circle ball. Yeah. They marketed it as something you could throw in your house and not hurt old people.
Oh, that ball had other
Hilarious.
uses.
Okay, moving on.
Go.
Final question before we move on to the She-Hulk conversation. This one's really, I mean, it's a test of how well you know me. Which Marvel Legends reveal today made Dennis mess his shorts the most? A, Orb. B, the Daredevil 3-pack. C, Banshee. D, Avalanche. E, Spiral. Or F, Molecule Man.
Are we talking front mess or back mess?
See,
That's
it's
a
tricky
soapbox.
because
That's a soapbox
I know
question right
that how much you love Daredevil, but the nerd in you of having Avalanche for the first time to complete finally the Brotherhood is tempting. But I'm still gonna go with B.
I'll go Molecule Man.
there.
Seem pretty excited about that.
Well, in fairness, all six would be great answers. But I actually felt like the messiest of messes came surprisingly from Spiral.
Really?
I
The
freaking
hands.
love those arms. I love that
Yeah.
character
It's a
aesthetically.
pretty cool figure.
I have always loved Spiral just visually. I think she's one of the coolest like X-Men villains. And as much as Avalanche was a close second, you know, the funniest thing is I wasn't given the opportunity to mess myself over the Daredevil thing because
That's right,
the
because
power
it came
outage.
at the end. Yeah.
And then they only dropped it on us like afterwards. And I was like, oh, there was Daredevil too? Well, I already cleaned the mess, so it's too late. But yeah, they were all good guesses. Every single one of these would have been valid. And
Toy clarity.
this is now the third trivia to include Orb in it. I just wanted to. I think he's our mascot at this point now. I think Orb is our mascot.
Hasbro, send us a free orb.
We'll have to keep an eye out for him in the future.
Oh, that was a.
Is that a
pun
Ghost
and
Rider
half.
body on orb?
Don't think so.
The collar looks a little suspect. That's why.
Yeah. Well, we can.
I think you're right. It's a repurposed Evil Knievel toy.
It is an Evil Knievel toy. All right, that's it for the trivia. Thanks so much, Clarke, for kicking the crap out of Ricky. I was really trying to get the Nerf gun.
Yeah, all these toys that came out before I was born. Thanks, guys.
I mean, it might have been a little lopsided, but you could do your due diligence. I mean, it's not like Transformers isn't around.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, let's do this, guys. Let's talk about the thing we're meant to do. We've waited long enough. It's time to put a spotlight on She-Hulk episodes 6 and 7. We're doing 2 because we weren't here last week. And so also it's fun. It's fun to talk about 2 episodes of She-Hulk. But before we do, spoiler warning, I think we kind of gave you one at the beginning of the show. But yeah, if you haven't watched them yet, please turn away and come back when you have. You'll thank us later. The newest episode just came out yesterday. So yeah, Just Jen was episode 6. It came out last week. And then the synopsis for that one was Jen is a bridesmaid in a friend's wedding, a stressful event compounded by uniquely She-Hulk issues. And then the second episode that we're talking about today came out yesterday. The Retreat. Jen visits Blonsky's wellness retreat, meets new friends, and gets in touch with her inner She-Hulk. I have so many thoughts on this show because it's so good. But I just want to one more time address the kind of like the elephant in the room. Episode 5 had a very specific cliffhanger that it ended with, showing you Daredevil's helmet in a box. And then from that point on, the show broke its formula and stopped doing a post-credits scene. And it has not done one since. Every episode since that one has basically said, you don't need a post-credit scene. You got Daredevil's helmet in a box. You just wait. And that's what they've done for 2 more episodes. And it's really hilarious because I got to say, honestly, when they started last week with the bridesmaid invitation, and then she explained that it's a special like episode about weddings and how inconvenient they are, about the timing, because you probably didn't think that's where we were going to go. just like weddings. And so like
made me fall in love with the show just a little bit more.
I know, right? Because like we should always expect that. It's not just a She-Hulk thing, like or a Marvel thing even.
I was at a wedding last week.
It's a TV trope, right? Like is that
Mhm.
every time you tease something that people really want to see, the next episode has to not be that at all.
It's just like the evening news. Coming up, the story that could save your life. But first,
It's absolutely that. And I'm not mad at it at all. I thought it was really funny, and I thought the show does a really good job at entertaining the people who embrace it and trolling the people who do not like it. It's so on the nose.
Yeah,
about the
you're either
trolling
on
it
board
does.
or you're not. It
Yeah.
ain't-
and what's great is that since this was all written and pre-produced a year ago, they knew exactly what trolls were going to say.
knew.
They spotted on just perfectly
Yeah.
what the
They did.
complaints were going to be, and to the point where it's almost spooky because they're so exactly spot on.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But I guess I just want to let you guys both give me your thoughts on each episode together. Like, I mean, they kind of both like pair together, right? Like the overall central story is, you know, she meets a guy, Josh, at this wedding who makes her feel special because the wedding, she shows up as She-Hulk because she thinks it's going to be fun and she's going to look fabulous. And then she quickly gets told by the bride, Lulu, no She-Hulk at my wedding. I don't want that, you know, and so she feels bad.
You're never supposed
gonna
to
upstage.
overshadow the
Yeah.
bride.
You're never supposed to overshadow the bride, correct? So she has to spend the rest of the episode as Jen, and that kind of puts her in a down mood, right? Which is funny because, like, you know, 5 or 6 episodes ago, that's exactly all she wanted to do.
Mhm.
But in that process, you know, she gets to meet a guy, a prospective suitor, you know, and then that story carries over into this episode or this week's episode where you get to see a really cute montage of them going on multiple dates, each one not quite you know, sealing the deal until finally
third date
they go home together, and in the morning she wakes up, texts him, and she never hears from him again. She's totally been ghosted. And so the rest of the episode is her trying to take her mind off of being ghosted and hilarious hijinks with Blonsky and his support group and stuff. And then it ends with Josh, it being revealed that Josh is hired by some outside agent who is wanting
Hulk
extract
King.
the Hulk King, yeah, who wants to extract the blood of Jen for whatever nefarious purposes. We'll see. Maybe the Hulk King is Daredevil. Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, so there is an overarching story going on in the 2 episodes. It's cool, but I'm just curious, like, what are your thoughts on it? And then after you have your thoughts, I got a list of all the characters. We can go play by play through each of them and just give your high points on each of them if you want.
All right. Well, Titaniac.
She
You're a
just
Titaniac?
pops. She pops in and out.
She
She doesn't
does it
overstay her
so
welcome.
well.
I like her.
So I love that they gave us that little taste of finally a She-Hulk Titania fight, and then just had to cancel it. But like so well, like it's in such a way when she's like, my veneers, and then that horrible mouth, and you're just like,
She
okay.
takes the cake.
this is done so well, and I love Jamila Jamil and what she talks about how they portray the character and how they do stuff, and like she's just having so much fun in that role, and I love it.
I think she is the best marketing for She-Hulk outside of Disney. She is doing the work on TikTok, on all social media. She is just making some hilarious Titania content that just makes it feel like Titania really exists in this world. I love her so much. I've always enjoyed Jamila and everything. So it's just really exciting that I get to see her in this. Side note, I just watched DC Superhero Pets the other day.
Is she in it?
She plays Wonder Woman.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a good movie?
It is actually surprisingly clever. I mean, it's
better than
yeah,
it looked.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's better than it looked. That's all I'll say. But we can go back to Titania. That's a soapbox conversation right there.
Yes. So Just Jen, so the whole wedding episode, yeah, it had the wedding cliches, but again, which fit perfectly with the story. And I thought it was also interesting to see her get drunk enough that she had to remember how to turn into She-Hulk. And I thought that was a really interesting little take on the power about how it has to be conscious and stuff. And I'm sure like in an emergency, well, I don't know, maybe not in an emergency. Well, no, the when he blew the air horn in her ear and she immediately turned to She-Hulk, she probably does have that emergency survival instinct to switch. But watching her have to struggle to turn into She-Hulk was awesome.
It was pretty funny. Yeah, she's like, hold on, I forgot. She's so drunk. I really like that reminds me of something. Have you noticed that she easily is the heaviest drinker in the Marvel universe? Every episode that woman has been drinking, like every episode, like she drinks, and she doesn't even drink a drink. There are multiple episodes where she is drunk.
And it's not just, even though in the first episode it established that as She-Hulk she can't get drunk, so she gets drunk as Jen. That Jen can get drunk.
Yeah. Or she drinks a massive amount as She-Hulk to even get remotely buzzed. And then when she has to turn back into Jen, it's super awkward.
Yeah.
Because then she's immediately drunk.
That's right.
Yeah. No, it's pretty funny. It's an observation. I'm not judging her yet for it, but I have noticed that they've been way aggressive with showing you that it's kind of like how Iron Man, like they always kind of like subtly nod to his alcoholism by there's always a drink in his hand, but they never really showed him drinking a lot.
Well, except for Iron Man 2, where
I feel like Iron Man 2, they like
at his party.
That was like the tamest drunk Iron Man you can get.
But that was like
that was the turning point. Yeah.
But that was like out of how many movies? 8 movies he's been in. There's always like some alcohol around, but it's not like to the extent of She-Hulk. She gets drunk, man. It's pretty impressive. Ricky, what are your thoughts on the episodes, the 2 episodes?
They're great. Again, I feel like filler is a dirty word, but
it is a dirty word.
I don't think it is. That doesn't mean they're bad. There's these little side stories that just advance the character. You get to see Jen dealing with like, she can't be She-Hulk, right? She's told not to be She-Hulk. So how does she deal with that? And then the following episode, we get this like therapy session with her as She-Hulk, and then reverse back to Jen. Like the stakes are so low in this show, and that's not a down point on the show. It's like it's nice to see a story that's in scale to what we're being presented. She's not an Avenger. She doesn't want to be Avenger. She doesn't want the suit. She just wants to be Jen, or she just wants to be She-Hulk. But that doesn't mean that her being She-Hulk does not mean that she wants to save the world or be a hero, right?
Right. I mean, the hero's journey, clearly it's still at its infancy about her being a hero.
Yeah, I think the stakes are her, right? Mm-hmm. The stakes are her figuring out who she is or who she's going to be going forward. Uh-huh. Yeah. And those are valid, it's a valid thing to have. Like, I think it's funny because every episode injects characters like Lulu here, that just are like ridiculous. And you're just like, what is going on in this show? Why is this character suddenly really important to the universe? And it's because she's the bridezilla of the story, or Mr. Immortal.
Yes.
Mr. Immortal is this character who actually has origins in the Great Lake Avengers, and is a character that cannot die.
I
And
mean,
they're
bottom of the barrel. Is Mr. Immortal part of that bottom of the barrel?
is Squirrel Girl
No,
But
because
Squirrel Girl being
they're from the
the
same
highest
team.
of
that
the
doesn't mean
greatest
shit.
of
What's
the
that?
barrel.
That doesn't mean anything.
They're from the same team. That they both came from the
I
same
mean,
comic.
Flatman's probably the bottom of the barrel.
Squirrel Girl got her own vehicle legends. Where is Marvel or Mr. Immortals?
Flatman had a Marvel Legends before Squirrel Girl. It's you can cut it out of an issue of Great Lakes Avengers #6, and he comes with infinite points of articulation.
That actually makes sense. That's
funny.
hilarious.
I'm just saying.
Let's tear it up then. Swashbuckler, the porcupine.
You mean El
Manbull.
Aguila? El Aguila. Manbull is the only one I distinctly remember appearing in comics.
That I had seen before.
I do know I've heard of Porcupine. I'm curious. Saracen says his dad is a vampire. I'm not trying to be racist, but like, are they going to imply you told me that Blade is from is going to be taking place in the 1920s.
Well, I mean, the script they scrapped, yes, is Blade is from 1920s.
Okay. I did look at Saracen with like one eyebrow up and be like, wait, are you related to somebody that I should know? I'm not sure. But yeah, no, they were all very low on the tiers with the exception of maybe Wrecker, who's now he's even low, but like he's a very famous low tier. I don't know.
Right. And it was fun having him in there.
Yeah, it was fun. I kind of feel like it was convenience of writing that he never bothered to, even though they clearly became friends by the end of that episode. He probably should have mentioned that there is somebody named Hulk King who hired him to go and extract her blood. I do like that Saracen made the joke of, or he's trying to get your blood, which was obviously the real thing that happened with Josh. But yeah, no, yeah, to your point, Ricky, they all are super bottom of the barrel characters, which makes it funny, right? Because we're learning this show is doing more work for the Marvel Universe than most things, period, have done to actually show you that this world is populated by tons of characters that we never normally get to see, because normally the spotlight is put on the Avengers or put on Daredevil or put on,
just adds color to the world.
It does. It adds a lot. Like the fact that Titania has just been a known super influencer for who knows how long. You know what I mean? Like,
and she's just strong, and no one she's strong.
Yeah.
We don't have a backstory on it.
No.
We don't need one.
I love that Manbull tried to give you a backstory on him.
Like weird science experiment. That's it.
Yeah. El Aguila was a matador for briefly in college. Yeah, it's all of these characters are just super ridiculous, and I love the show for including them in it.
And also with having the guts to change Emil Blonsky.
That character is
because
so
they decided
special.
They're like, you know what? We're just gonna completely change directions. And I'm a big fan of Lie to Me, which is a series that Tim Roth did before.
Tim Roth, yeah.
I remember those Super Bowl commercials.
And it's actually so funny to kind of see him bring that in again as the psychiatrist,
the charm.
Yeah. But it's so fun because before he was just another generic fighting villain, but having him be this character, which still I don't know where he's going to go. What I wondered is where were his groupies? Because
his wives,
his wives. We had that retreat, and there was a sausage party.
Yeah,
but there's still they can have so much more fun with that character, and I love that they're willing to really try and that he's willing. I mean, just look at him. He's like, I'm getting paid for this.
Bit on why they're down there because his inhibitor chip is malfunctioning, and his parole officer just like yo, can you just come with
Yeah.
me? Like,
Yeah. It's freaking out.
like,
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
I thought that was like, you know, you talked about it every now and then on the show about She-Hulk is like it injects more realism than a lot of the other MCU shows. I kind of thought that was like the most realistic thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
I'm
wouldn't want the
scared.
cops there.
I'm
Like, I
scared of
want
an
the
8-foot tall
She-Hulk.
lizard man, you know, like, can you come with me, please? You know, so yeah, it made sense. It made sense. Like, but yeah, to your point, Clarke, this Emil Blonsky is the Emil Blonsky that I never knew I wanted. You know what I mean? But like, he's hilarious because it's just Tim Rothing it up. Like, it's not. He doesn't have to be married to a specific plot point that the Abomination is known for being. You know, like it's just.
And that's the
No.
fun with playing with D level characters, and see is because you can't mess with the Joker too much. You
Right.
have some leeways and such.
Yeah.
But with these lower characters that people don't really know or care, you could really have some fun with it. And that's what's great, especially the ones that originated as villain of the month back when comics were literally just villain of the month, because that's what we,
or
what the customers
even
wanted.
better.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just make brand new ones.
Yeah.
Like Madison with 2 N's
Yes.
and 1 Y.
But
But they're not where you think.
But it's like,
yeah,
where are you
no,
gonna go with it? Like, it's like, if we've seen our friend Oliver, friend of the show, hates the trope of the bad guy having the same powers as the good guy, and they fight. And that's, for what it is, that's what the Abomination is. He's a bad Hulk, right?
Yeah.
So you putting this, little spiritual leader's twist on him, it just makes him fresh.
Yeah.
And
it makes him
it makes him
amazing.
fresh. It makes him something new. And
it shows that the character has grown over the course of the 13 or 14 years that he's existed without us checking in on him. Like, he has become a three-dimensional person.
American legal system at its finest. He did his time.
Yeah, right.
And
now he's charging people to come hang out in his sweat yurt. Like, I'm assuming he's charging them.
He was raking in some money.
Yeah. By the way, I just need to point out, like, he had so many ridiculous posters all over that room.
Yeah.
They were dumb. They said things like, "Today is today." And it was a quote, and the quote was by Emil Blonsky. But the best one that I didn't even see the first time, but my wife pointed it out, was right dead center behind him. And it just says, "Obama stay." Oh my goodness. Obama stay. That, whoever came up with that's genius. It's genius. I saw another one that was like, "Achieve everything" or something. Like, it's just, yeah.
There's so much in this show if you can get past not having it be what you thought you wanted. Like, if you just like take a look at it at what the creators were really able to make. But if you were like, well, there wasn't any Daredevil in these two, so I'm not gonna watch it. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Like, this gives me hope for the Wonder Man show for not being the beat 'em up hero super strong guy show. I could see the vision of a different flavor for that show, but She-Hulk adjacent, where he's just kind of living his life, as opposed to saving the world.
Back to the subject of changing, like, D-list or low tier characters. I need to point out, like, Mallory Book, that character, who is a major part of the last episode, right? While Jen is having the wedding story going on, the B story is Mallory is getting some help from Nikki, Jen's assistant, to help work out the legality of Mr. Immortal trying to get out of all these marriages by killing himself, with air quotes around it. And Mallory Book, I freaking love this character. And what's so funny about it is I don't remember loving her at all in the comic books. and I remember her being the bitchy counterpoint, the women hating women kind of character that was in the office in the comics that just didn't like Jen being around. And I love that they just took it and went in a completely different direction where she's somebody who actually wants to see Jen do her best. And she also really likes Jen's assistant, right? And they've become friends and stuff. And like, but she's still a shrewd lawyer, right? Like you can tell, like,
Yeah, she gets down to business.
oh man, they lay into the Mr. Immortal, and it's so funny to the point where, I mean, he just jumped out a window, like, to try and supposedly kill himself. How much did the window cost, and how much did the car cost, and what happens if there were people in the
I
car?
mean, they implied that he's loaded, right? He has money.
I mean, he's been around forever, so I assume he's loaded. Yeah. By the way, that character was played by the same actor who's from Veep. He plays Andrew on Veep, and I don't remember his name at the moment, but I love that actor all the time. I have never seen him play anything but a giant weasel. He plays a weasel all the time, and he's so good at it. David Pasquesi, that's his name.
That's a weaselly sounding name.
He actually, I believe, played an alien in something recently too. And I'm trying. He was in the Book of Boba Fett. He was the guy that was worked for the mayor.
For the mayor, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Twi'lek.
That's
such a weasel.
That fits.
Yes. Yeah. That guy always. But he's great. And anyways, I'm trying to remember where I was going with that, but like I love that Mallory Book was given the opportunity to be a more three-dimensional character as well, just like Emil Blonsky and all these other ones that are like, I mean, I kind of like Manbull now too, you know what I mean? Like I don't know that I want to go read Manbull comics, but it's cool. It's Manbull. Manbull is a character
Just
that
gonna enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they were all in on it? They wanted her. They at the end of that conversation, they got her to delete Josh's number.
I'm fine with speculating, like, at the end of the show, and I think that the funniest thing about Tim Roth is Tim Roth playing Emil Blonsky is everything he said sounded genuine, but the way he said it, I could believe him also having an ulterior motive. And so, yeah, it's possible they were all in on it. Like, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out if Titania is in on it too, or if Titania is the thorn in the side of the Hulk King because she keeps getting in the way of what he's trying to do. Because I'm still trying to understand how Josh ended up at that wedding.
Friend of the groom, right? That's what he said.
That's what he said. He was clearly planted there, right? Like he was. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, to your point, I think it's quite possible that entire help group was involved, or maybe just Emil. Maybe just Emil knew what was going on. That kind of sucks, but like I guess Emil's allowed to be a villain, right? He's a villain.
Yeah. Twirl that mustache.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'd be mad at it if he was a bad guy. But I guess I'll ask this question again because I think we asked it like 2 weeks ago. Clarke, who do you think the Hulk King is? Who do you want it to be is the other thing.
Honestly, I don't know. And I haven't really given it much thought because kind of like I've said before, when I watch these shows, I'm like inner tubing down the river. I'm just flowing with the river, and I'm not trying to look ahead at the next. So I don't try to analyze too much. Oh, what was that clue? Who could it be? I mean, I got my fill of that when I was watching Lost, and that kind of
yeah.
These days, I am just an inner tuber down the river. I really don't know.
Inner tuber down the river.
I'm just going with the flow and enjoying it. Enjoy the scenery where I am right now, watching the episode. Who do I want it to be? I don't have a desire. It doesn't have to be the leader. It doesn't have to be
Okay.
something.
I mean, you just said the leader. I think that's.
Well, I mean, I know the leader's going to be a villain in upcoming. What was it? They already announced
Captain America.
And Captain America, yeah. But almost, it's been such a lighthearted series. It's almost kind of weird to have a hardcore thing in there. But then again, I do want to have some connection because I want to see Jen and She-Hulk in other Marvel properties because I like her so much. So having a hardcore real villain that's going to be in something else, connecting that, I would like to see something like that because I do want to see, even though she's Avengers adjacent, I want to see her pop up in other stuff because I love this character so much.
Oh, she will.
And yeah.
I kind of think like, normally I have that rule of like, okay, if it's a mystery villain, we've already met them, right?
Yep.
Like that's like it's the Law and Order rule, right?
Met them 10 years ago.
You already met them in the show, right? That's usually the rule I go with, right? Like, and it's worked for pretty much every freaking show we watched since they started, right?
You seem pretty bummed on Loki.
With the exception of it was with the exception of Loki. And I was really bummed about that one, right? But what I was gonna say is I kind of feel like this is the one show where I wouldn't be mad if it was somebody that we didn't see coming. Because I kind of feel like this show's allowed the freedom to just be silly, and it would be silly if it was somebody we didn't expect. Right? Like if it was like the high evolutionary and you're like, wait, where did that come from? I'm kind of with you on this one where I don't mind whoever it is. Zach just joined the show and he just wants to let us know he thinks it's Foggy Nelson. He's pulling all the strings.
Yeah, he didn't get brought back for the show.
Dear Lord, I really hope that Foggy is back as well because I love that actor. I want him back as Daredevil's sidekick.
But it would be hilariously She-Hulk if the villain was the actor himself, mad that he didn't get a cameo, that Daredevil's in it, and the actor himself.
I mean,
I'm just throwing. Yeah, again, I like the absurdity. So if they went absurd, I would not mind.
I'll commit.
I agree with you. If they went out of left field,
I'm gonna be pissed if it's not the leader. You're telling me it's not the leader.
I'm gonna be pissed.
You don't. Okay, you're in a lab. We saw this dude already. They announced he's coming back. I think you pepper him in. I think that's the playbook from going on. And you show a briefcase with the radiation symbol. Come on, that's the leader.
To be clear, I won't be mad if it's the leader, but I definitely won't care if it's not the leader. Like I won't be mad, either way. Like
I would be surprised, but I'll be upset.
I definitely think that if you think the leader is the only radiation person in the Marvel universe, that's
the only one I know of right now.
Daredevil, literally Daredevil.
I thought he had chemical X or whatever.
With radiation symbols on the freaking thing. Like this is like
toxic symbols. Those are different symbols.
Toxic. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Just give you other powers.
Yeah, just other powers. But yeah, no, I don't know. I
mean, he's in a lab. There's
a part of me that wants it to be. There's a part of me that wants it to be leader, just so that we can see,
because you ripped that Band-Aid off. I could see you pepper a leader into the Thunderbolts.
But the thing is that we're always expecting the Band-Aid to get ripped off sooner than it really needs to be, and that's our problem. You know what I mean? And like I saw a really cool video at post D23 about like all these movies that had been predicted for being revealed at D23 that weren't revealed. And it's like, that's our bad for trying to jump the gun on it, because they're going at their own pace, and their own pace is great. It's fine. It's just like, we just want the sun. We want everything. We want everything they have all at once. And so I'm saying, yeah, if the leader just got announced in Captain America 4, maybe he just shows up for the first time in Captain America 4. Who knows? I'm not gonna be mad. Like, again, I'm on the Clarke side of it, where I'm just open to seeing what happens.
I'll commit to, let's see. Zach from the comics. I'm more seriously calling the guy from the date montage who's asking all the questions about her powers, and he's connected to the leader. The guy
There
with the
you
scarf.
go. That's a way.
Sure,
We'll
that's
see.
a way in. Leader adjacent.
It's a good one.
I'll take that.
He could just. I mean, he doesn't have to be connected to the leader, but sure.
Like, I'll take a proto leader.
He could just be like a weird,
I mean,
Elon Musk type character.
But what villain? Not even villain, but even the army and stuff would want a sample of Hulk's blood. Who wouldn't want a sample of Hulk's blood?
Intelligentsia is a group in the comics.
Now, that's that.
Who makes
Intelligentsia.
I like what they did. The 4chan Intelligentsia.
That could go more.
I don't remember Intelligentsia from the comics, but
I know MODOK's in there. I believe the leader's in there.
I've heard reference. It's not big like the Illuminati, but it is something. It is a reference from the comic.
Interesting. Well, I mean, we have 2 more weeks to figure that out. But yeah, you're right. There is a MODOK in the MODOK is affiliated with it. Oh man, there's some other ones there. There's the Red Ghost. That's that guy that hangs out with, like, he likes gorillas and apes and stuff.
I think you have
there's some weird ones
in it for
here,
a minute,
guys.
right?
The Wizard, the Mad Tinkerer, an awesome android. Chameleon disguised as Claw.
Yeah.
I don't see the leader in here. But yeah, there's a bunch of characters right there that could be included. Well, I don't think it's gonna be MODOK, but there's some dumb characters.
That could
here.
be She-Hulk level. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some dumb characters for sure. So yeah.
I guess what I would again, and I've said this before, like my biggest villain of the whole show is the fact that it's only in 9 episodes, and I don't know when we're gonna get more.
I know we only have 2 more.
This is so sad.
I need them to announce that it's getting renewed. I need it.
I mean, hopping back on the rumor train, she is supposed to, or she's rumored to show up in Captain America.
Good. I want her in more stuff.
I want her all the time.
I
would hate to have a leader without her. You know what I mean? That would be weird.
I mean, you can't have Hulk. I mean, there's.
I mean, you think you're gonna get a leader without the Hulk?
Yeah,
Well, no, that's not true, because we did get him with the Hulk in the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Stearns. I'll take a proto leader, like if it's still Stearns in like some fucked up state, and her blood makes him the leader. More of her blood.
All right.
So
I think
we're pulling weeds here.
I definitely feel we've speculated too much about the leader right now.
It's gonna be the leader, guys. Check back in 2 weeks.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But
I want
until
it to be
next
the Red Ghost now.
Yes.
Or Madison.
That's the leader's wife.
Madison is Mephisto.
Yeah, it's possible.
Let me turn on my leader lights real quick.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up so that we can go on. You didn't even let me talk about Miss Piggy. I loved that she was watching the Muppets, and Miss Piggy had to rage on those bars. It was so good.
Yeah,
brand synergy, baby.
I know, right? It was so good. We got to wrap this. Female Lawyer of the Year is probably what's going to happen next week. And maybe Daredevil will show up for that because he got nominated for Male Lawyer of the Year. As a reminder, they planted that seed in this episode that they said, Jen, you got nominated for that. So I think that's more likely.
There you go. That's how Daredevil comes to LA.
There you go. Exactly. So that's my little prediction for next week. Hopefully Daredevil's there, but I won't be mad if he's not, because I've just grown to accept the fact that this show is just great.
Yeah, you got a toy this week. You're good.
I got Daredevil toys. It's fine. So with that, I'm gonna say thanks to Clarke and Ricky for nerding out with me today. I'm gonna sound all sad because we do have to end. We'll be back in probably 2 weeks to discuss the latest superhero news and more She-Hulk with Ricky and a special guest. I don't think we're going to be making it for next week. It's a little rough on our schedules next week.
Next Friday, Werewolf by Night.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, then we'll watch that and talk all about it the following week.
Yeah.
I want to say thanks to our patrons for supporting our growth and to our audience for tuning in. This is really cool. I had some active audience members tonight. If you had fun, please remember to like and subscribe and check us out on Patreon for our after show, The Soapbox, starting moments from now. Clarke, if you got anything you want to plug or anything, let us know now.
Good for right now.
It was awesome doing this with you, and I look forward to doing it with you for more hours and hours tonight. So yeah, I think that's it. See you next time on Den Excelsior True Believers. Obama stay.
Obama stay.
Bye, guys.